Hello, everyone. My name is Ms. Rose, and I'm the Director of the Agricultural Science and Technology Education, or ASTE, program at Lyman Hall High School. I want to be the first to congratulate you on your acceptance into our program. And I also want to say that I'm super proud of you for going through this entire application process during the very challenging school year that we've had. So kudos to you for a job well done. In addition to welcoming you to the program, this video is also going to serve as the instructions for some of our required paperwork. I know it's a little ironic that we had a completely paperless application system, and now we have real paperwork to do. But we would normally have an accepted students night where you and your families would come to the agriculture building and we would work on these things together. But we had to do things a little differently this year, and I really appreciate your patience. If you do have questions as we go throughout this process, or you need Spanish translation, then please make sure to come to one of our Google Meet help sessions, which are indicated in your acceptance letter. Hopefully you kept your papers in the same order from how they were placed in the packet that I mailed out to you. If not, it'll still be pretty easy to follow along. I'm going to use the entire out-of-district packet as our sample tonight. So our students from Dagen and Moran, you may notice that your things are a little different, but don't worry, you'll be able to follow along as well. Feel free to pause this video at any time or watch it as many times as you like, seeing I won't be stopping for the time to fill out each and every form, just to explain it to you as we see it on the screen. So let's get started. First is your acceptance letter. Of course, you also received this as an email, which has all the links to it that you need for other things. Of course, if you go to Dagen Moran, you can go ahead and hang this letter on your fridge, put it in your scrapbook, whatever you want to do with it. But for our out-of-district students, hang on to it because you'll need it for later steps in this process. So moving on to the next page in the packet. This page coming up was just to remind you that there was an instructions video and to wait so that if there was anything that needed further explanation, you'd be able to see it. I know some of the info is self-explanatory, but there's still some things that I would like to explain. The next item is your checklist. And again, if you're from Dagen Moran, your checklist is a little bit shorter because you're already in the system. So you don't have as many things on here. But this is a guide for everything that we'll do this evening in order. And it also tells you what you need to complete, what you need to send in, what you need to keep, etc. So next up, the first thing to fill out is your acceptance form. So hopefully if you're at this part of the process, you're going to say yes. So by you completing this, we verify in a number of ways that you are committing to our program. All right, next up, starting with our fun colored paper, this first one on the goldenrod colored paper is our student info form. We do like to keep a paper backup of all this information. So if we ever need to get a hold of you and power school's down or some of our technology isn't working in our favor, we still have a way to stay in contact with you no matter what. So again, I'm just gonna breeze through everything with explanations and you can take the time later to fill everything out. Next, on the gray paper, which still looks kind of white on the screen, but in your packet it's gray, is our Supervised Agricultural Experience, or SAE form. Every student in their sophomore, junior, and senior year of the program works on an out-of-class project. So it can be something at home, like a garden or training your dog in a specific way, or it could be something out in the community, something that you actually get paid for, maybe like working on a farm or at a garden center, etc. And the work that you do outside of class, you get credit for inside of class. And we have lots of ways to help you if you're kind of unsure of what you're doing. But during your freshman year, you'll start planning this. So that's why we're having you just do the agreement form now. So you'll be able to read through all the efforts we put in place to make sure that you get as much help as possible with this. And to show you some of our SAE examples, I'm going to show you a little video at this time.
Hi, my name is Eric Lipka. These are my sisters, Kaylee and Lindsay. We are in 11th grade and members of the Lyman Hall FFA chapter. SAE is a supervised agriculture experience where students can further their knowledge in ag-related fields. In regards to our SAE, we work in the school garden and we grow different crops, and we use those crops to make different food dishes such as homemade salsa.
We got started in this SAE because we really wanted to do something together, and our teacher suggested the school garden, so that's what we decided to do. The beginning steps that we took to start this SCE is first we consulted with our teachers to come up with a plan and a schedule, and then our teachers supplied us with the right equipment and tools that we would need. Eric and I are in the food science class where we learned about food production from the farmers that grow the food to the stores that buy and sell the food, so that's what sparked our interest in growing a garden. One of the biggest challenges of our SAE was working in the pouring rain, but we had to do it because those were the only days that we could come in. And then another challenge was getting all the weeds out because there were so many, but we had to get it done so that the crops had room to grow. But once it was done, it looked nice. We overcame challenges in our SAE by working together and making sure we had the right supplies and asking our teachers whenever we needed help.
Within this SAE, we have further developed employability skills, including cooperation and teamwork, as we have to work together on this. And in regards to technical skills, we are able to identify various crops and weeds.
This SAE affects my future because I learned skills such as teamwork and cooperation, and I want to be a doctor, so I can use those skills when I work with my clients or with coworkers.
Through this SAE, we have gained various safety and sanitation skills, such as making sure to wash produce before using them to ensure safety and health standards, using the proper knives and handling knives with care. My favorite parts of our SAE is just working together on a common project and then, of course, eating the food we create together.
The people who have helped us with their SAE have been our teachers, Ms. Rose, Ms. Samantha, Ms. Holden, and Ms. Decker-Lawler. They have supplied us with the right equipment and information we would need. The advice I would tell other students looking to start an SAE is to do something you really enjoy and that could help you in your career in the future. We all joined the FFA because we live in a small town with a lot of agriculture, and we wanted to learn more and meet new people that could help us expand our knowledge.
From this
So hopefully that gave you a nice overview from the student perspective of the Supervised Agricultural Experience Project, and also showed that even if you aren't sure about having a lifetime career in something agricultural, you can still use your project to make sure you gain great skills that you can use anywhere. Next up in your packet is our student activities form, and it's on the blue paper. Now, I like to also call this the fun form. All of our teachers in the ag program have our bus driver's licenses, and we have a series of vehicles where we can take you out into the community and to different agricultural entities during a class period, but you're still going to get back to school in time for your English or math class or whatever you have next. But this form allows us to be able to take you on those in-class field trips for all 4 years of high school. And that way you're not going to miss out if you forget to bring in that permission slip for the trip to the farm down the road. However, if we do a full day field trip where you're going to miss your other classes, that's when we use the regular district permission slip form for field trips. Our next form is on the green paper, and this is our social media form. We always like to brag about what our students are doing, and we use a variety of social media platforms for this. So hopefully you'll agree to this so that you can also be part of the excitement. And of course, we never use individual student names, but we'll say things like, look at the wildlife biology students at the reservoir, or here's what our seniors are doing today. If you need a little more information on the district social media policy, there are further details on the back of this page. So we're going to pause right here because for our students who go to DAG or Moran, the paperwork part of this process is completed for you right now once you fill out all these forms. So you're going to stick it back in that envelope that I sent you in your packet, pop it in the mail, and make sure it gets to me by February 22nd. And that way everything's in line for you to be part of the program. So for students from DAG and Moran, you guys are dismissed right now. Make sure that you also fill out that online verification form that was part of the website where you access this video. And that way we make sure that we can keep you in the classes in Power School that you're signing up for with your counselors in early February. So for all of my additive students, stay on because we have just a few more things to do. And we will get moving with that. So our next form is yellow, and this comes from the school nurse's office. So our school nurse is one of the most organized people that I know, and she wants to make sure that she has all the right information for you. So one of the things that you'll do is fill out this form for her. And you also need to include your most recent medical physical. A lot of times that comes from your doctor's office on a blue piece of paper. So you'll need to find that. A copy of it is fine. It doesn't have to be the original blue one. And also a copy of all of your immunization records to date. So make sure you put all this stuff together for what you're sending back to Lyman Hall. And once you put all that medical stuff together with all the other stuff that we just did from the video, that completes your packet for what needs to come back to Lyman Hall. We have a few more things in the video and the packet that go to other places. So just make sure you're staying organized. If you refer back to that checklist from the beginning of the packet and the beginning of the video, it says what needs to go where, what needs to go together. So once you complete the paperwork to send back to me at Lyman Hall, again, you received an envelope in your packet. It's all going to fit in there. I made prototypes and brought them to the post office to figure out how much postage I would need, so I promise they're going to fit. You fold them the right way. So next up is your process for officially enrolling and registering in Wallingford Public Schools. Okay, so we got you in for the ag program. We made sure that all that part is set. But now you need to do the online process for Wallingford Public Schools. So if you go back to your acceptance letter, the website is on there. If you go to the one that was emailed to you, you can just click on that as the link. And there are steps for you to follow. And there's going to be some documents from our packet here that you need in order to upload everything onto that Wallingford Public Schools registration site. So the first thing that you need is your acceptance letter. That is actually going to count when you get to the residency part. Our out-of-district students are going to upload that, and our Wallingford students who went to other schools, you'll still need regular residency documentation. So that's a deed to a house or an updated lease for a rental, and one utility bill. So phone bill, oil, electric, etc. Again, out-of-district students, you'll use your acceptance letter for the residency part. Wallingford students who went to other middle schools, you need the standard residency proof, which is outlined in there. And so those are things that you'll need for that part. You also need to do a records release form. It was sent to you, and this is so that we can get your final official documents from your current middle school. I know we did a smaller records release as part of the application process, but this is the big one that we need now that things are finalized. And then you will also need your birth certificate as part of the online registration process. So it needs to be the long form. So not the nice little one that can fit in a wallet, but the full page size birth certificate. So all of those things will need to get uploaded when you do the online registration process with Wallingford Public Schools, and you'll need to complete that by March 1st. So that was the Wallingford Public Schools registration part of our paperwork tonight. Please make sure you also check with your sending district about their residency and registration policies. So you still need to be associated with your local Board of Education so that you can come to Lyman Hall, because the boards of education correspond with each other, and we need to make sure that you're, appropriately on record with them as a student who's coming to us. So you can just contact them and see what steps you might need to take. So once you register with Wallingford Public Schools, you will be contacted by the school counseling department at Lyman Hall to set up an appointment to select your other classes, right? We already know what agriculture class you're in, program you got accepted into, but you still have to figure out what math class you're going to take and what English class, etc. And this is where the remaining documents in your packet come into play. So finally, we have a pink form that's coming up next. Oh, sorry, you've got the additional info form that you can keep, hang on your fridge, etc. So here's our pink course selection sheet. Some of the things are already filled in there for you, but I'm going to show you how to use the big career and course planning guide. It used to be our course selection catalog, but it's got a bigger, fancier name now. This was the huge packet that came in the mail to you with all of your other papers today. So I'm going to teach you how to use this and fill out your form by using your agriculture class as an example. So here in the Ag Ed section, you're going to need to put in the course name, we're going to be really nice to our school counselors. We're going to put the course number in there too. And then I'll show you what it means about level, and then the credit as well. So I'm going to use our large animal class as the example. And that's because our large animal class is not named the same way in this book. Okay, so for the large animal class, we're going to refer to it as animal science / equine in this book. All the agriculture classes start on page 49. So you'll see our agriculture science courses. They are, other than the large animal class, everything's listed by the same program area that you're accepted into, same exact naming, but I'll give you a hint, they're not in alphabetical order. So just stay within the agriculture section, you'll find your class. So what you're going to look for is the name of your class and that it's appropriate for grade 9. So within the course catalog, you have on each page over on the right-hand side, it says what grade level each class is for. So for our students in the large animal class, you're going to look where it says animal science and equine, and you'll see the grade 9 component is listed here on the page. And so you'll write in where it says animal science and equine science, and then there's a 4-digit code right next to it. You'll write that in as well. And if you look under each course listing, it will say course level. Now, all the ag courses are the same. It's CCP1. So you're going to put that where it says level. Regardless of which ag class you're in, they're all the same. But when you go to look at your other classes in the English section of this book, and the social studies section of this book, you're going to have other choices. So CCP2 is the lowest level. It used to be called the general level. CCP1 is the next level up from that, and that's about an average level. And then some courses also offer an honors level, so a little bit higher, right? And then the social studies department actually offers an AP or advanced placement class for freshmen. So if you feel ready for it, you can talk to your counselor about signing up for it, and you'll be able to find it in the course catalog as well. So that's how you fill out all the info. And then where it says credit, at the very bottom of each course listing, it says in parentheses how many credits it's worth. So all of your agriculture classes are 1 credit, you'll put 1 in there. So again, if this part's confusing, join one of those Google Meets that are part of your letter, and we can go over things individually, because I know it's a little hard to get this part situated just from watching a video and not from actually interacting with anyone. So now that we've covered all of our coursework in there, we've now gone over everything in your packet. So there's essentially 3 categories for everything that we covered today. The paperwork that needs to be returned to the ag program, the paperwork that you need to be able to register online with Wallingford Public Schools, and the paperwork to complete and bring with you to your scheduling appointment, which won't even be set up until after you register with Wallingford Public Schools. So the checklist from the beginning of this packet also organized the information in the same manner. So follow that. If you are confused about which paper goes where, I was also, I made sure to put what color paper things are on that checklist too, so that you can stay organized. And please also complete the electronic verification form that is for the out-of-district students on the same webpage as this video. That's going to help our central office know to expect that you're going to be registering with their online system, so that they don't think it's a mistake by someone not living in Wallingford completing it. So I hope all this made sense to you. It's certainly a new way to do this for us. Again, if you need help with anything, come to one of my Google Meet help sessions. And otherwise, I hope to see you soon. Take care.